Are you on a low-carb diet and think you're going to have to spend the rest of your life without normal-tasting bread? Well, guess what? You don't have to. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make fluffy, low-carb sandwich bread. And I'm not talking about those little tiny rectangles that they call sandwich bread and you can barely fit one piece of meat and one piece of cheese on it. I'm talking about a full loaf, rounded, high dome, fluffy, soft bread. Wonderful tasting. And you can stack anything you want on this bread and it will not fall apart on you. My husband's diabetic and this is his favorite bread out of all the bread recipes that I make. And I know it's going to be yours too. So, let's get cooking. Preheat oven to 375 degrees. Grease or line a 9x5 loaf pan. Also, you might need to lower your oven rack just a bit because this bread does have a pretty high dome. I usually lower my rack about 1 notch. In a medium mixing bowl, combine 2 cups oat flour or any type of gluten-free grain or nut flour, 1 cup vital wheat gluten, 1 teaspoon salt, and 2 tablespoons instant yeast. Make sure it is instant yeast. There is a difference between the different types of yeast. Also, make sure when you add your salt and yeast that you add them to the opposite sides of the bowl. If you add salt directly on top of yeast, it can kill it. It's okay once it's all mixed together, but for some reason when you add them on top of each other, they don't agree. Whisk dry ingredients until fully combined and there are no longer lumps in the flour. In a large mixer bowl, add 1 cup warm water. Make sure it's warm to the touch, not too hot, not too cold. 1 large room temperature egg. Make sure it is room temperature. The temperature of your dough and yeast bread is very, very important. Too hot, it won't rise right. Too cold, it won't rise right. 3 tablespoons olive oil or oil of your choice. 3 tablespoons honey. Always spray your measuring spoons and bowls before you put the honey in it. That way it slides out easily. Add dry ingredients to wet ingredients. Beat on low 15 seconds or until all dry ingredients are wet. Change your mixer attachment out to the dough hook attachment on your standing mixer. Knead on high for 3 minutes. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push all of the dough to the center of the bowl, then beat on high 3 more minutes. If you don't have a dough hook attachment, you're going to need to knead the dough by hand for 5 to 7 minutes or until the dough is very stretchy. Roll the dough into an oval-shaped ball and place it in the prepared loaf pan. Cover the dough with sprayed plastic wrap. Make sure it is sprayed because the dough will stick if it is not. And place it in a warm, draft-free area for it to rise. Let it rise for about 20 minutes. Uncover the dough and reshape if needed. Make sure it's smooth and any creases that are in it are on the bottom of the loaf. Spray your hands before handling the dough to prevent the dough from sticking. Place the dough in a preheated oven and bake for 40 to 45 minutes or until the internal temperature is 195 to 200 degrees. Let the dough rest in the pan for 10 minutes after baking, then transfer to a wire rack and let it cool for 2 hours before cutting. It's always best to let your bread cool before cutting it to keep it from falling apart. eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make without the use of white flour and white sugar. Also, remember to hit that little notification bell. That way you can be notified every time, every week when I make a new video on recipes and tips and tricks that make your low-carb living easier. And as always, keep cooking.